Man, I ain't even get to really fix my hair or nothing, but that wouldn't help. I still need a cut, so still be looking crazy anyways. Yeah, I wasn't gonna do this because I'm still feeling a little scratchy. Got to clear my throat a couple times. In the world of Dame Dash, that's probably a pause, but we're not in the world of Dame Dash. We're in the world of Stro, and this is the Stro Show Live. I'm William Strother II, aka Stro Styles, and welcome. Presented to you by Stro Studios. No backup plan. Oh, I almost got it. Yeah, got this ginger ale. I don't got no tea tonight, so hopefully that'll help bring me through a little bit. As you know, like I'm going to say, if you want to support this show, want to support this channel, best way to do it is go to NoBackupPlan.Shop, get you a shirt. Or you could just go say, you know what, I don't even want the merch, man. You could keep them shirts. They looking kind of dingy. I just want to straight up support. And you could drop a donation. Oh, I got that. Well, we got a good array of topics tonight. We going to, of course, be talking about this Young Miami letter to Diddy as he approaches his sentencing. Got a little bit of basketball talk going on there. What else do we got on the board? Oh, yeah. Talking, some photography and AI. And I like to put the most interesting topics in the beginning because I feel like, they say the best way if you want to get people to, I'm going to mess up this saying anyways, I don't know. Put the medicine in the candy. So that's what I like to do. But tonight, last episode, I was talking about, stocks. And I went on this whole soliloquy and my soapbox of how important it is for the black people and the black community. So I'm going to do something a little different tonight. And that's where we're going to start. I got my stock charts up here. Specifically, I got my futures charts. And I'm going to just do a little reading real quick for if you might know about stocks. You don't really know about futures. And this ain't going to help, but I'm going to still read it anyways. Futures are contracts to buy or sell a specific underlying asset at a future date. The underlying asset can be a commodity, a security, or another financial instrument. Futures trading requires the buyer to purchase and the seller to sell the underlying asset at the set price regardless of the market price at the expiration date. So essentially, if you've heard of maybe the S&P 500 or QQQ or gold, at least everyone's heard of gold, futures just tracks those really. And, you got your regular New York session stock market that's open from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., except for major holidays and stuff, Monday through Friday. The futures market is open damn near 24/7. Only time that it really closes is at 5 p.m. for maintenance, and then it closes on the weekends, but it opens back up on Sunday at like 6 o'clock, 6 o'clock. So earlier in the year when we was getting all those crazy tariffs and moves from Trump and everything, that was a good way for him to kind of gauge if he needed to pull something back before the morning time, because he could go into the futures market on Sunday, see how things were reacting. If they weren't reacting in the way that he wanted, he could just go and tweet something and watch that thing move. Now, I say I'm looking at the stock charts because I got to do a little charting, and I figured why not just have y'all here with me as I walk through it and kind of talk through it. I'm going to switch to my other mic in a second, but I'm going to finish kind of explaining a little bit of this for a second. What I'm doing over here with futures, what I like about futures is that, I wanted to ask either like Ian Dunlap or Rashad or Troy or someone like that about their opinion on this. Because futures, where it's really different from stock or options calls, is with futures, you can get, did I load up my chat? Get that going over there. Bop, 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 bop. We good. With futures, you can get what's called a funded account, which basically you can use other people's money. And really the only kind of barrier with that is, you got to reach a certain dollar amount to get a payout. And if you drop below a certain dollar amount, you lose the account, got to start over again. And there's other restrictions like for a regular futures account. If you have your own account, you can, like we said, you can buy a contract today and hold it till whenever it expires. Let's say it expires in like 6 months. This whole chart could do its whole up and down and up thing, and you don't got to sell. On a funded account, you got to sell what you have by the end of that day. There's no holding until 6 months from now. And I think that's one of those places where people might find the downside to a funded futures account. But if you get in there and know what you're doing, you can make you some money. So I have a funded futures account. I ain't been on it as much. I was heavily on some Stro Studios stuff as soon as I got passed, but I got to get this bag flowing even more so I can put it in some marketing, promotion, and everything else I got to do. And why not trade the account that I got? So tonight, I'm just kind of getting ready for the morning a little bit, just seeing the action that we got. Right now, I'm looking at MNQ, which essentially follows QQQ, and QQQ is like it follows the major tech. So NVIDIA, Apple, Microsoft. I don't know if, off the top of my head, if Amazon and Tesla and Meta and Google are in there. I think Google's in there. They all might be in there. But in any event, that's what I'm watching here, MNQ. Seeing if I'm going to catch me an entry tonight, catch some in the morning, just kind of trying to get prepared. You know, the cool thing about futures, like I said, is that it's open during the nighttime. So for those people that maybe they can't trade during the daytime because maybe they work just a full day job where they can't lock in during the day, they can go at nighttime and get them a little something. You know, we got ES, which tracks, well, I'm looking at MES, same thing as ES, which tracks the S&P 500. And earlier, I missed this. I was watching MNQ earlier when I was doing it. The setup seemed a little bit better, and I missed ES, and I'm going to draw it out here. Last Monday, not this past Monday, but last week, we had what's called a gap up, which had to be from y'all, that's y'all president, y'all illustrious president, doing or saying something, because that's typically when these big-ass moves happen. And usually when there's a big gap in this chart, eventually it got to get filled, as you see that it did this first time. Once it got filled down, came right back up. It was a big wake up. But still, that gap fill is still, I'm glad I looked back too, still kind of there, and we still want to make note of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw what is called a supply zone? I don't know. Demand zone. So we're going to draw a little box right here. If I click the box, we're going to draw a box from the top of this candle before that gap started. Going to make a little box right here. And we're going to close it to where that candle came down and bounced. We know this is our demand zone. When the stock comes down here, that's when we should get some good action. And that was on September the 17th. It came down there, bounced back up, kept going. And if we look today, came back down here, and what do you know? Precisely, it matches with the top of that demand zone, came down there, bounced right back up, which is why I should have been watching this, because that would have been an amazing trade to take. But I don't typically trade ES or MES too much. I usually kind of stick to MNQ, but I need to venture out a little bit more, so that's what I'm gonna be doing. You know, we got our other tickers over here. You got oil. I don't really fuck with gold like that, to be honest, man. Gold just should be moving a little bit too crazy sometimes, so I like to stick to the rivers and lakes that I know, which is MNQ and MES. And I really do kind of want to catch something on MNQ tonight at some point, so I'm gonna draw me a little box. And if you know how time zones work a little bit, when our stock market is open, the stock market for China is closed. But right now, might be seeing a little more action during the nighttime than maybe. There was some action. You usually see moves start to happen a little more in the futures market towards about 2 a.m. to 4 a.m., which is because that's around when China's market starts closing. Then after that, we just kind of wait until we open back up. But I want to see if we get anything in this little area that we're in. Not a crazy area, but if you take a little bit of size, could pay off. So I'm going to set me a little alert. 24,585. 24,585. And I know a lot of people might not know what the hell I'm talking about, what it is, but that's why I'm putting it at the beginning of the show. Because like I said on the last episode, at the end, that some people might not have got to, this is very important, and important for our community, important for the black community. I'm speaking to us right now. We got to learn this game. We can't just let it go by and just things go by the wayside, because more jobs ain't coming. More opportunities ain't coming. So the way you really hedge your bread and get the best bang for your buck that you spend all day working is learn something that works for you in the stock market. Even if you're not trading this, doing futures, you could still go over here and, let me go to a better ticker. I went to Roblox. I like Roblox, trading some Roblox. You could still put you some money in the S&P 500. So let's do a real good example. When them tariffs first started hitting, and the stock market at the beginning of the year was at its high of 614, and everybody was panicking. This whole ride down is panic selling from tariffs and people not knowing where things gonna go. And the S&P 500, which is the biggest tracker of just the top companies in the world, top companies in the country, whatever, it came all the way down to 483, a little bit lower than that, which is the price that it was at last January. All year 2024, it was up in the 500s and going up. When tariffs hit, we got a big dip. And people were like, oh, man, it's going to be a minute before the stock market gets back. We won't see 600 till maybe 2026 and all these things like that. We are in September, not even October yet. And we beat that high of 614 and are now in that range of 667, currently sitting at 657. That means if you put some money in April and left it until now on the S&P 500, just that, you got damn near a 50% return in 5 months. I mean, you can't beat that. So even if you're saying, man, I don't got the time to get into day trading or futures trading or swing trading, which is something that I say you got to have the time for that one, because it's damn near the same as stocks. But we'll get into that at a different episode when I'm giving y'all more candy in the medicine. We got to learn this game. There is no excuse for us to keep going by and saying that, man, stock market is a gamble. Stock market is how you lose your bread. Yeah, it's a gamble if you don't take the time to learn the information. And you take the time to learn how to do a new TikTok dance and everything of that. Take that time that you take for that to learn the stock market. Take you 15 minutes every day to go and watch Earn Your Leisure. Go and read a book. Go and do something that's going to help you protect your bread, protect your future, protect your kids' future. And it's pivotal. So I wanted to start there tonight with me just doing a little bit of that. I set my alert on MNQ. Do I need one on ES? No, because I don't really got a level there. I need to tighten up my charts a little bit. But that's where we started tonight. Now to get into something a little bit more interesting and salacious, I guess. We gonna get the puff. Diddy will be sentenced soon, and now you got all the couple supporters. Well, there's a lot of supporters, but at least his public supporters coming back now. His famous friends writing character letters and all of these things that maybe may help him when it's time for sentencing. And the one that I'm gonna focus on tonight is the one from Young Miami. Let me pull this up better so I could really see it, because I'm going to read it. Stro does the reading. Let me pull this up on this screen. Boom. Here we go. Young Miami's letter to the judge says, Dear Your Honor, my name is Carisha Brown. Brownie? Brown? My name is Carisha. I'm a mother, daughter, sister, and a hip hop artist who has spent many years in the public eye. Oh, man, I can't try and get too fancy on my voice. Many years in the public eye. I want to be clear that I cannot speak on or defend anything that may have happened before I met Sean Combs. Now, first off, if you write in my character letter, I don't want you. This whole first paragraph, I don't want that there. You could skip all of that and get to why I need to be out. Speak to the good part of me. Don't speak to anything else that you don't condone or time that you wasn't for there. And I might want somebody to even look over this letter before the shit gets submitted. Don't put that in my character witness letter if I'm ever on trial facing life. But cool. I do not condone any wrongdoing. I can only speak from my personal experience and the man I've come to know over the past 4 years. For 3 of those years, I was in a public relationship with Sean. Were you? Because there was mad time where they were saying they weren't together. Then they were together. Whatever. Keep reading. And during that time, I witnessed, oh, yeah, that's why they saying this look like some chat GPT shit. I hope this ain't something that she just straight put together herself and sent in without someone looking at it. The first way that you could tell that something be chat GPT is when you get those little dashes in between, like people don't typically write, and even if it's a lawyer writing something, they may use like semicolons or something else. Yeah, okay. All right, another point. If you going to be writing me a character witness letter, anybody ever at any point in time, don't have ChatGPT do it. And if you do, take all the stuff that makes it obviously written by ChatGPT out. That's just like, you want me under the jail? Cool. Let's keep going. Take a little sip here so I can put on my best Carisha voice. Where was I? Oh, I was in a public relationship with Sean, and during that time, I witnessed and came to know a different person than the one often portrayed. Behind the scenes, he was loving, genuine, supportive, and always had encouraging. Wait, that's not. Whatever. Let me just read that one more time and make sure I'm not reading it wrong, because that sentence isn't right. And even better, we just going to pick this apart as we go through. If you write in my character letter, make sure that the shit is grammatically correct. Now, I was a videography major, started as a music major. Wasn't an English major, but I could tell when a sentence not wrote right. Behind the scenes, he was loving, genuine, supportive. Oh, okay, and always encouraging. Okay, that was me. I'm a little stupid. He motivated me, believed in me, and helped me grow both personally and professionally. I'm writing this letter because I believe it's important for the court to know the side of Sean that isn't always seen or spoken about. The man who poured into others, who gave opportunities, who led by example, and who loved deeply. He helped shape me both professionally and personally. You said that. He believed in me. You said that too. Pushed me to grow and taught me how to be a better businesswoman. He helped me find balance between chasing my dreams and being present for my family, because that's what he did. No matter how busy he was, he never missed holidays or special moments with his family. That's true, because you would see the pictures with him and his family, and then you see the pictures with him and the escorts, or the escorts posting their videos. So, he made sure that he always had everybody around at the same damn time. That's true. That's true, Young Miami. That's true. One of the most meaningful memories. Oh, now we get into the good stuff. Or not. One of the most meaningful memories was when he took me to my first Met Gala. It wasn't just about the event. It was about what it represented. What does the Met Gala represent? Because ain't nobody ever seen a side, so that could be all damn orgy cluster in there. Don't nobody know, but cool. what it represented. Sean has always made it a priority to open doors for black people, to make sure we are seen, heard, and valued in spaces where we're historically being excluded. Did I say might? Oh, that night. That night reminded me that we belong in every room, at every table, and in every conversation. He constantly encouraged me, and so many others, to dream bigger, walk in confidence, and never shrink who we are, to make others comfortable. He also gave me a voice. Don't you rap? Didn't you have a voice before that? He gave you a voice because he gave you a show that you don't do? Oh, whatever. He also gave me a voice by providing me, there we go. By providing me a platform on his network to speak for the culture and connect with people in a way that was real and authentic. That opportunity changed the direction of my career and showed me the impact one person can have when they choose to uplift others. And the rest cuts off. But beyond all of that, I seen him give back to his community over and over again. In 2022, we fed the homeless together on Thanksgiving. But that was just one example. And then it cut, so we don't get to see the rest of the examples. All right, I'm going to start with benefit of the doubt and say that maybe this letter is 6 or 7 pages longer. And the great part that talks about his character and everything, we don't see. But from what we do see, this character letter ain't helping shit. All you said was he was a great dude that took me to the Met Gala, spent some money on me, and I went with him on Thanksgiving to give out turkeys. What the hell does that say about his character? But, like I said, benefit of the doubt. Maybe there's more at the bottom. Nonetheless, that was Young Miami's relationship with Puff. And rather new relationship. The last relationship, if you will, before they sent him off to the clanker. But let's really get to it. The sentencing is coming up soon, and we will find out the fate of Mr. Sean Diddy Combs. And to be honest, what he was on trial for, I don't think they proved enough for him to go to jail, maybe. But two things can be true at the same time. We've also heard stories for damn near 30 years about the horrible and horrendous things that he has done for two people. Because although he was not on trial for what he did to Cassie, it was something that was played during the trial and played out for the entire public to see on that video. And that video was horrendous and horrific. No matter how they try and flip it of she went through his phone and he was just trying to get the phone back. That was our first time really seeing the horrible side of Diddy that we have heard about for damn near 30 years. And I don't think that should go it hasn't gone unspoken about, but it should be highlighted to some effect. With that being said, I am a black man. I'm a Christian. I'm a father. I'm a son. And I believe that people should be able to ask for forgiveness. And I believe that people at different times and different points that people are capable of changing. But I also believe that sometimes, whether it's 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, you have to reap what you sown. And even if you believe that this whole thing really happened because his lawsuit with Diageo and he tried to get too big for his britches, it don't matter. eventually it came out and he's sitting in jail. So do I think that, and even before that, to speak further to the point of the possibility of people changing. Because one of the things that we didn't hear about much in the trial was recent things, which kind of the things that Young Miami's speaking about. We didn't hear much after 2016, 2017 of these horrific things he done of trying to burn people's cars down or stalking people and death threats and all of that. It was past stuff. And we've heard a lot about in the past just how he is this shrewd person and won't let people out of contracts and the way that he does business. But what I thought was very interesting last year was Jazzy. Jazzy went on the Joe Budden podcast, and she spoke about it. She was honest and transparent, and which I have to commend to her, because she could have just completely skipped the topic as a whole, because I'm sure there were some people that maybe kind of looked at her away for what she said. And what she said was kind of similar to what Young Miami said of, I never saw that side of Puff. From the time that I was around him, it was good vibes. I came into his life during the love era when everything was love and peace, and he's trying to make this new vibe of things. And she said, because she didn't have to say anything about it at all, and she's not in a deal with him no more, so really had no reason to lie. She said, I never saw those things. But she also said that when things occurred and her mom told her, like, you got to get out that deal, right? She was like, damn, man, I know. She went to him in person, and they sat down in Miami, and she told him, man, I gotta get out of this deal. And he said, damn, you really gonna leave me during this time of need and in this time and everything, and you really just gonna leave me? And she was like, if it was you and this was happening to me, you would drop me. He said, you know what, you right. And he let her out the contract. I say this because at the time, she was basically his only act, and she was his big act that was being pushed. Jazzy's pen and everything that she do is crazy. Her music, her voice is just completely phenomenal. Super promising career. And he could have pulled a old Puff that we've always heard about with Mace and Craig Mack and everybody and said, nah, man, you in this contract, it's death row for life. And he didn't. He let her out the deal. And that's something that historically we have not really seen from Puff. She says she saw a change. I say that to speak towards the side of the fact that there is possibility that you can be this horrible person for 10, 20, 30 years, and at some point you change. Does it completely excuse all those horrible things? Fuck no. Fuck no. It don't. But like I say again, as a father and a Christian and a black man, people need to have the room to grow and become something different, even if it takes way longer than it should have. And for him, it clearly took way longer than it should have, because a lot of things that I thought was going to get brought up that I'm not going to mention on the stream because they ain't get mentioned in the trial did not get brought up. That's why I really thought that they booked and tagged his ass, that we was going to hear about some other interesting things and some kind of fairy stories that we've all kind of heard throughout the years. But we didn't. So I think there is a possibility that over this time span, he changed and maybe became a different person. But I also think that sometimes you got to pay those consequences for the things that you've done. At the same time, from the law, from the standpoint of the law, do I think that he should go to jail for what he was on trial for? From the case that they proved? No. They proved that he is a wild, freaky boy and it's some wild, freaky shit. And I don't think you should go to jail for what you like to do in your bedroom. Now, was buying escorts illegal? Yeah, but smoking weed was illegal for a long time, and Wiz was rapping about it. I say Wiz and not Snoop for a reason. So shit be illegal, but people still do it. So I don't want that to be the focus point. But we do still have a world where, all right, maybe we pegged you for the wrong thing. We built a bad case, just like maybe they might have built with YNW Melly. How I believe he got off kind of, but they still kept him in there because they built a bad case. And the law, the benefit of the law, is they can pull the loopholes. So they very well could pull a OJ where they're like, damn, yo, we built a bad case and we know that, but we really wanted you and we wanted you for something else, so we gonna keep you. So I think there's a world where he still goes to jail. Now, if he was on trial for the horrendous things that he did of stalking people and blowing up people's cars and everything he did to Cassie and all those other women, should he go to jail? Fuck yeah. Without a question. Without a question. But it's America. That's not what he was on trial for. So do I think that he will get sentenced to more time in prison? No. It's going to come out the time served. And, you know, I know there's all those people that are like, oh, how could his kids feel this way and still support him and want him out? And those are clearly people that ain't never had a single parent in their life, because we done all, as adults, seen, felt, heard, still going through whatever, some decisions from our parents that we did not agree with. And maybe for some people, they don't even speak to their parents. They love them from a distance, but they still love them and they still want the best for him. So I don't think people should not want his kids to not want their dad home. That's just not real. That's not a reality. But we will have to see. From the case that was proved, I do not think he will do time. Is there a possibility that they may say, yo, we going to run it back? I don't think so, because they done spent and wasted a lot of money, so the government definitely not coming back in for a RICO. Cassie definitely not coming back after she got her bag paid out. This might just be it, man. Y'all got him on the time served. Y'all sent whatever message y'all needed to send to him, and that's it. So we will see. I'm going to have to look up when the sentencing is, and things will probably heat up around then and get spicy. But until then, hell if I know. I ain't on trial. I ain't in jail. Knock on. This that good wood, too. Ooh, you hear that? That's that good wood. Knock on wood for your boy. I ain't do nothing crazy, though. But while we still in music, let's get to Bryson. Bryson Tillers. Trap Soul, Mr. Penn Griffey, coming out with the second part of his deluxe album, and the second part is Solace. And now, I'm going to go back a little bit. When Bryson came out in 2015, hottest fish grease, hottest thing moving. That Trap Soul was a classic. You could still throw it on, and it's one of those that it ain't get tainted with age, as opposed to certain songs from the 2013 to 2015 that if we go back to it just don't sound right. This aged very well. And that second album, I know he went and eventually people talked him into saying that he ain't love it and he ain't like it. I thought that second album was pretty damn good. A lot of people didn't, but he took his time and then came back with Anniversary. Came back with Anniversary, had that Christmas album, and then something else. Well, there was that tape in between that came with his last album. And I thought the Anniversary album, I thought that was dope. I also thought the last album, that self-titled album, was phenomenal. Oh, but his last album was the first half of this deluxe album. That shit was trash. I don't want to hear it. I don't even think I made it all the way through the album. I got to like the second to last song, and I just had to say, yo, I'm cutting this shit off. But he has had enough great output where he has earned a flop. And I ain't counting the second album as a flop. I'm counting that last album as a flop. And I personally, when I got into the album, I already knew what it was and why this shit, even though it was a rap album, outside of that, why this shit was sounding like this. He clearly, and when I could hear from the little preview of the music, spent the budget for the album and the music on his second one. Where the second one is probably his R&B album. And that's probably where the label said, hey, this is where we going to put our money at and our budget on you from what we've seen to work. We ain't going to spend it on this little deluxe passion project album. You could do that. Get your homies together, go on YouTube, find you some Bryson Tillers tight beats, and put it together. And it sounds like that's what happened. Now, about the features on there, I didn't even really love the features. Now I'm getting back into the thought of it. I was so disappointed by a song with T-Pain and Plies, and I ain't even really hear T-Pain on it. That was like just a complete misuse of a T-Pain feature. But he earned a flop. And that last album to me, that rap album, for me, that was the flop. But I'm confident in Bryson, and as he seems to be more consistent over the past few years and putting out music, so I think this Solace album in October, I think that's going to be our October run. I think we got some there. So I ain't going to count them out yet. But, yeah, I'm going to save that one for the end. I'm not going to save that one for the end. I got it Nicki topic. And I was going to do that next. But you know what I'm going to do next? Am I going to do the candy or am I going to do the medicine? Where am I going to really need my voice for? You know what? Let's just go straight to sports. Zion Williamson. Is he finally ready? It's been some years, and he's somehow gotten a great benefit of the doubt from people for a very long time. I don't got a whole bunch on this. My next piece is the real piece that we're going to spend a little time at. He's got a great benefit of the doubt over the years, but we're entering into year 6. This is the time where you got to show up, dog. Was he the number 1 pick? I'm pretty sure he was the number 1 pick. And yeah, I know he done gone through it with baby moms and the strippers and everything, and that might even have a little bit to do with why we get skinny or fit Zion right now. Hopefully not. Hopefully he in a good mental space, and we just getting good skinny Zion, because this is Zion that's ready to come out there, perform, and jump out the gym. I don't think he had no crazy injuries, so he should still be able to have them legs under him. You know, they got them crazy doctors in the NBA where he should be good. So hopefully this season he could go out there and perform, and if we don't, we got to put him on that Ben Simmons, Markelle Fultz list, and a lot of others over there. We're going to go off and see. My next one is where I'm going to really go, and I'm going to have me some fun with. Because Boston Celtics. You know how we got like they say ESPN tends to cover the Cowboys even when they not playing or they not in the playoffs, and when it's the off season sometimes they still got a Cowboys topic. You know, I'm a basketball fan. I'm a Celtics fan. I like to quietly say that I'm a Cowboys fan, and that's only just by like way of getting thrown into there. You know, my mom was, for some reason, I still got to find out, was a Cowboys fan. I was in the Tony Romo era. So I was like, hey, I don't got a team yet, so I just went with the Cowboys. And the only thing, I say this openly too, I'm on the trade block when it comes to being an NFL fan. I'm going to find me a new team. I'm finding it in a real analytical way. I was doing it before. I'm going to find me a new team. I'm getting the fuck out of some Cowboys fandom shit. That's gone. But the only thing that kind of kept me around, what is on the floor? Are those shoot? No, what's next to me right here? Oh, that's a book bag. The only thing that kind of kept me in some Cowboys fandom just a little bit longer is they tend to somehow draft players from Connecticut. Even one of the players that they picked up a couple years ago was Tyler Coyle from Windsor High, who, I took the bus with him like in middle school, elementary schools. I was like, oh, this is dope. All right, they'll keep me there a little bit longer. They got someone from Windsor. They got, someone from the town on the team. So I was like, cool. They'll have my support just a little bit longer. But I'm the fuck out of here. Oh, I say that to say I'm going to do the same thing with the Celtics. Even when it ain't during the season, even when we ain't in the playoffs, and we going to spend a lot more long time in the playoffs, I don't give a damn what y'all think about this upcoming season. I'm going to still be covering the Celtics like they on the road to win the championship every single week. God damn it. I'm going to let my yeah, there we go. We can see it. I'm going to let my Celtics pride, because that is a poster from the last time we won the chip. I'm going to let my Celtics pride ring strong all the time. So, tonight, we're going to be talking about Jayson Tatum. And I'm going to start with, hopefully, these things, as I go over them, because I'm on the site, it don't get, taken down off the stream. That would really suck. So when I'm playing clips, I'm going to be quiet in case I got to take them out. But we're going to start with reading this of what JT said of the night he went down. And you can't see it here because I got my face in the way. Do I want to move my face? I'm reading it. You don't need to see what's being said. Jayson Tatum says he cried for 2 hours after tearing his Achilles, wondering if Boston would trade him, if his career was over, or if he would lose all his endorsement deals. Quote, I literally sat there and cried for 2 hours because so many things ran through my mind. Damn, is my career over? Am I going to get traded? Are all my partners going to drop me? My basketball career flashed before my eyes. I'm in my prime. I'm one of the best players in the world. And it felt like all of that was taken away. When he went down, I think I had already stopped watching that series. Because I typically, that was the second round. So I'm a Celtics fan. But I'm a realistic Celtics fan. And I don't always love the way that we play in the playoffs. I think we could do a lot better with certain things. So round one, I'm never typically watching. I tune in around round two, kind of probably halfway through. And that New York series was just frustrating as hell because I love Jayson Tatum. Probably my favorite Celtic ever. That's my birthday twin. But I'm also a realistic Jayson Tatum fan, just like I'm a realistic Drake fan. And there's no reason in hell that he should ever be jacking up threes over 8 dudes with a second left on the clock. Shouldn't be happening. And the rest of the team shouldn't be taking 23-pointers and missing 23-pointers, and you still keep that same goddamn lineup in the game. So by that point, in that New York series, I think I was already kind of tuned out. I was like, all right, man, we not playing the brand of basketball that's going to get us past New York and that's going to win us another championship. And then, sadly enough, he went down with that Achilles tear. Now, for a second, let's see if I could pull up his picture. Let me remember where I'm at. All right, I'm right there. Because I'm going to go back a little bit into something else that really kind of pissed me off this summer. This nigga right here, Damian Lillard. When it was heard that he got dropped off the Bucks, thought that was messed up. Thought that was super messed up. But as a Celtic fan, I started to get a little bit of hope. When they were saying he's looking at the Celtics and it's possible that he could go there and he really has a tight relationship with JT and has been rehabbing with him and everything like that, I was like, oh, shoot, man, there might be a little potential there, yo. We could really use a true point guard. And I don't really know how much of a true point guard Dame is, but he still got a little bit of gas left in the tank. So I'm like, yo, Jaylen Brown, Jayson Tatum, and Damian Lillard, although they play a lot of the same kind of brand of basketball, need the ball in their hand and everything, I was still like, yo, if we get Damian Lillard, I'm cool with that. And then when it broke that he went back to these niggas, oh man, I ran through my house yelling and screaming. Ran upstairs to my son's room. You know, my son Cody, he's a Celtics fan too. I ran up there. I showed him the picture. His jaw just dropped. He like, yo, what? I think he might have cussed. He's like, what? How? I thought you said that we might be getting. I was like, I know, son. I know. I just had to let him down. So I had to touch on that real quick. Of Damian Lillard really pissed me off with that. So salute to him in Portland. Hope it's cold. Back to JT though. So he went down. He was in tears. Y'all know how that went. We lost that series. Cool. Now we're going to get to where my slight concern and problem might be is this right here. And I'm going to read this as I'm going to let it play first. And I'm not going to say none in case I got to cut it out. Go back. Okay.
I would say right now the period I'm in.
No, I want it from the beginning. Here we go. Let's try this again.
What are you able to do right now? What does the rehab look like?
It's been a gradual transition. I would say right now the period I'm in is getting pretty much back to like ramping up basketball workouts. Yesterday I had my first on-court basketball workout for about 15 to 20 minutes, and it just felt really natural. And it was like a sigh of relief to be back on the court again.
What are you able to do right now? What does the rehab look like?
So he says things are ramping back up. He's getting back into his regular flow. And I think that even brings us to this right here. Developing. Speculation around the league is that Jayson Tatum... Wait. I didn't read that part. I read that part wrong the other day. Speculation around the league is that Jayson Tatum will, in fact, return to play this season in the back end of February or early March. And as a Celtic fan, I do not want this at all. At all. I want our star player, our future MVP of the league, to spend the full season resting up like the way that he needs to. And I don't think that trying to go out there and rush out, especially towards the back half of the season, when we trying to figure things out, maybe even possibly trying to tank, is the best place for you to come back. Because personally, what I wanted is that we know that there is a little bit of a, seems at times, a little bit of strife between him and Jaylen Brown. They won a championship together. Stats are stats. I don't know how much of the best pairing they are together. There's many times where they're both on the court going down the fast break, and one of them could get the easy alley, or one of them could get the dish out to the wing because they got two defenders coming down in the paint on them. And they just still go up with it. And I think that speaks a lot to not as much their chemistry, because they built chemistry, but I think that speaks to the push and pull of the team. Where clearly, not clearly, but anyone says Jayson Tatum's team. Damn near since he came, and especially since Kyrie left, we gave him the keys to the city, the keys to the Celtics, and it's JT's team. But Jaylen Brown is just as good as Jayson Tatum. Don't get the credit, but I believe he's just as good. I believe in certain areas even more athletic and everything, but that don't matter. And they play kind of similar in certain circumstances. And I think that is what creates a great push and pull for them. And I think that a season without Jayson Tatum, where we don't do the whole tank thing for the big tall kid that's coming in next season or the season afterwards, whatever. We don't try and tank, and we go out there and actually try and perform, and we do well with the pieces that we have, with Jaylen Brown and Derek White being at the head of this team. I think that maybe it'll even lessen or make worse the push and pull that we have with who is the leader of this team. I don't think we're in a time anymore where there has to be one leader. Now, granted, Dwayne Wade said that even though it was his team when LeBron came to Miami, he gave him the reins and said, yo, do your thing. That's my team, but I'm going to step back. I got me a chip. I know what it is. I'm going to let you do it. I don't think we're in a time anymore where you just have to have one leader of a team. And I think that this season, if we got to see Jaylen Brown really leading the team and Derek White being his kind of co-captain in there, I think that would leave and it lead into a successful season. Maybe not a championship. Well, I mean, probably a championship because this is Celtics. But even if it's not a championship and it just leads to a great season, a great record, and maybe a slight playoff run, that it might lessen that contention of the push and pull of who's the one leading this team, who's the one fighting for the lead team spot, and they can both just shine and win chips together. So that is partially why, outside of wanting him to get the full rest, that I would want him to just sit the season out. Just see how the team does without you, and don't try and disturb anything that's been going mid-season before it gets into the playoffs, and now the team got to reroute and recirculate to running through Jayson Tatum or around Jayson Tatum. Just let this season be what it's going to be. Heal up, support your team from the side, and just see what happens. But let's get to a little bit of the funnies. Like I've said about the contention with Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown, I think this clip right here only speaks to it a little bit more. And I don't know which one is in here. But the other day when Jaylen Brown tried to call his teammates on stream and then nobody answered, he tried to call Jayson Tatum, he ain't answer. And then Jeff T called him, and he did answer. Interesting. Let's just play it just for shits and giggles.
I was gonna call Jayson Tatum. Let's try Jayson Tatum.
That's right.
We get Jayson Tatum. No. Hold on. I
hate them fucking braids.
Let me see. I think that's the right number. He got a lot of numbers. Hold on. I don't even know if that's the right one.
I think that audio when I played earlier.
We on air, bro. We on air. We do the Jaylen Brown test.
Even if the audio from earlier was bad,
Y'all bogus as hell.
Don't say that crazy on air. B here said.
I said I hate them fucking braids. He's still my nigga though.
Oh yeah,
he hates your braids, but you still his guy.
I
Call
forgot.
you back. I see you in the gym, boy. Good luck.
All right.
I forgot.
We lit.
That's hard.
Better teammate.
That's hard.
Yahoo Sports reports.
That's funny. Damn, I did forget Jayson Tatum got braids now. Don't. Oh hell, even more. But when in this clip the other day he ain't have them. He better not step on no goddamn court with no braids. That ain't gonna be hitting for it. What's this story right here? Steph Curry was voted the best American player in the NBA if it weren't for Tatum's injury in a survey of 20 coaches. Interesting. Let's just look at some more Celtics shit before I end them. An anonymous Western Conference assistant coach said Jayson Tatum will be the best player in the NBA by 2030. 30. That's 5 years from now. He got drafted 2017, so he'll be the best player in the NBA or the world. In the NBA, best player in the NBA. In his 13th year, I mean, shit, he already got a ring. I'm cool with it being by then. There's no one that has the shot profile. He's what everyone wishes they have. A 6'10", they just keep making this nigga taller. A 6'10" guy who shoots threes, gets to the rim, and gets fouled. I swear the last 6'10" or 7-foot guy that shot threes and got to the rim and got fouled was Kevin Durant, but I guess by then Kevin Durant be out of the league. All right, whatever. Anyways, Celtics in 5. Jayson Tatum, I love you. We love you. You can sit this season out and just rest up. Did I put the rest of my things on here? Oh, man. I didn't put it on there. My next needed to be topic. Okay. Let's talk for a second because I do want to properly put this on the board. And I know I did. And for some reason, it's not there. Don't worry. I'm going to load it up because like I said, now we getting back to the medicine because it is important that certain things get talked about and where we are in this economy, which is why I talked about stocks in the beginning of the show. People can't be afraid of AI. And using AI specifically for content creation. Now, this is going to be something that I'm going to be talking about on a different YouTube live series coming in a couple weeks. You could sign up for it if you want to hear more about it. Just get a early insight onto it. Sorry, I blanked out on something. Early insight onto it, but a little sneak peek of it is using AI for content creation. And I even want to bring this on the screen at some point. A lot of people, I've spoken to a lot of different photographers, videographers, and things like that. And their sentiment is so much that they hate AI and the use of it and everything, and they don't get why people use it or anything like that, and it's ruining the film industry. And on many fronts, I do agree. These AI-generated videos that are only getting better and better and harder to tell, and you could plug in a little prompt and create a movie, and sure, that's not the best for our field and our industry. But if we already got the technology where you're seeing it, then that means that we already headed in the direction of it being mass use. So trying to say that you're not going to use it and that you hate it so much, you only setting yourself backwards. Me personally, I've always been in the mind frame of get with it or get lost. So I use it, and I will use an example, show an example. I'm going to just show it on my Celtics screen real quick just because I don't feel like making another screen. Actually, just to make it look a little bit better, I'll copy this over here. And we'll go back, and I'm going to show you this example right here. When I did my Celtics one just now, did I have this Zion Williamson? Ah, damn it. Whatever. We ain't going for perfect. Anyways, this is a flyer that I made about a month ago for my mom for the Deltas. And this isn't the final one, but I could show this one because they put it out. I made it. Hell, whatever. And for a part of it, I'm going to take me off screen for a second. For the people, I used AI. I used Google Gemini. I had Gemini create the man and the woman, and then I went in and I did the rest of the flyer. I put all the words and the text overlays in the background and the graphic overlays in the background where you could see the elephant and the ballroom and everything. But AI made it so much quicker, so much easier, and so much better for me to get exactly what I wanted, as opposed for me searching all over the internet and trying to find something that fit. I was able to create a prompt to get people in the exact outfit that I needed, the exact skin tone and complexion, and the exact color for the outfit that I needed. As opposed to me having to take as opposed to me having to take a paintbrush and I gotta paint their outfits a different color and try and find two people and then put them together and make them kind of touching and create that even more artificially. I was able to go into Gemini, type in a prompt, and get exactly what I needed. And I was just thinking about how a way I could fix that Celtic part later on. That is a key benefit of how I use AI. I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm against it, so I'm going to just be a freaking stonehead the whole time and just be like, no, this is my way or the highway. Now, for certain things, I am like that, and I'll speak on that a little bit more later. But, like, you just, like, even for when I'm doing the thumbnails for certain YouTube videos, I go in Photoshop and I use AI to remove the background. It just makes it 10 times easier, 10 times quicker. And I got my little thing right here that I love to use, my little drawing tablet where I could throw on my little pen and I could use the pen and I could cut stuff out. But sometimes if I don't have the time, or even if I want to make that workflow just a little bit quicker, use AI to speed up your process. So I get it why some photographers, filmmakers, people in other fields, but specifically in content creation, feel threatened by AI. But you got to learn how to use it to your benefit. And I'm always be a believer and preacher of this the most. Of if you nice, then you nice. If you not nice, then that's when you got something to be worried about. If you nice in what you do, then you going to realize, you know what, I got to shift. I got to grow with the times. I got to keep going. I got to get with it to get lost. And you're going to realize how to amplify and put these things into your workflow. So that's what I do. And another piece of things is I don't got a lower third in there. Hey, yo, if you want to come through, drop you a little donation just to keep it fresh on the brain. Drop you a donation. Go to NoBackupPlan.Shop. Get you a shirt. Using your phone. And it's going to be one of those big pieces that I talk about in the class. For so long, I was against using your phone when it came to content creation. Because although, like I said, get with it or get lost, some aspects of it, I still be a dinosaur. Like, I might start getting into it a little bit more, but I don't use CapCut to edit my videos. I go in for real, I go into Premiere, and I really edit. I know a lot of people who will give you a video that they just shot, and 20 minutes later, they got the whole thing done, and certain shit just don't be looking right because they threw it into CapCut, and some CapCut AI put the whole damn thing together for them. And sometimes some people really know how to use it, so it comes out good. But some people don't know how to use it, and it come out looking like BS. So in certain aspects, I'm still not all the way pro phone when it comes to what I do. But in a lot of aspects, I am. For example, creating certain Instagram reels. You know, Instagram has their Instagram Edits app, which I haven't used as much lately. But for just certain things, when I'm doing the No Backup Plan tip of the week, or even if I'm just making a video just for something or someone real quick, something that I got to get out quick, and specifically something that I shot on my phone, because I've been even getting into a little bit more shooting things on your phone because I realized the benefit of it. And like I said, I'll talk more about that in the class in a few weeks. But some things I say, you know what? I'm going to edit directly on the phone, and it speeds up my workflow because it speeds up that process of having to transfer it to the computer, and now I'm editing it in the way that I like to, and sometimes it may slow me down as opposed to I'm just using my thumbs, click, 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 and boom, it's done, and I can just put it out, and I don't got to worry about it. Well, there is a strong benefit to using your phone, and I think for anyone in content creation that wants to get into content creation, that should be the first place that you start, is your phone, the device that's in your hand all day. I did have a screen for this. I did. Did I finish it? Let's see. Nope. I ain't say. Oh, I did. Boom. Your boy is on it, okay? Might be feeling a little sick and a little, but I'm still on it. Your phone is a $1 billion business. Learn how to use it. Even when it comes to editing pictures. I don't like to be sitting at my desk all day. I like to get outside or on the deck or just anywhere as much as I can. And so I love to just throw pictures into the Lightroom cloud, and I'll go and I'll sit outside. I'll just edit the pictures on my phone. And that make it so much quicker than to when I'm done with the pictures. Now I don't have to send them to Dropbox and wait for it to load on Dropbox. Then I got to download it back on my phone. And sometimes you might have download issues with space or just other things. You just edit the pictures on Lightroom on the phone. Boom, download it and post it or send it to whoever you need to. And it's just done that quickly. You don't have to worry about, all right, these little in-between pieces that maybe mess up the flow of you wanting to do it or mess up the flow of the creative process in general. You can just get it done. So if you're a content creator or someone in this space, take advantage of that $1 billion business that is in your hand and learn the full capabilities of it. Even if it's an older iPhone, you see mine don't got the spacing, whatever, of where the cameras are on the 17. Make use of it. You can make use of it. It's just the fact of, are you going to? Do you want to? Who knows? I'm glad that I chose to save this topic for the end, because I don't know how much I'm going to really go on it. But we got a Nicki sighting. Nicki Minaj posted on Twitter the date 3/27/26 with the CD. We're most likely getting the Nicki album on 3/27/26. And I've done the whole stream without mentioning Cardi. I only mentioned Drake in reference to Jayson Tatum. I've been Cardi'd out. I can't do another one. So that's why I was so happy to come on this stream, talk about the topics that I did. And I'm going to try and talk about this topic without really not mentioning Cardi. Ooh, I need some more ginger ale. It's going to be time to wrap this thing up soon. And yeah, you got all the people coming and saying that, oh, she coming and announcing her album during Cardi's release week and things like that. So the fuck what? This is hip hop. When you need that most publicity and attention, you gonna do what you gotta do. And I don't know what Nicki's label situation is now, but I know it's not like it was 10, 12, almost 15 years ago. God damn, man, where does that time go? And I'm going to say it. I don't care who don't agree. As far as credentials and catalog, I think that, and I'll say it just again, as far as credentials and catalog and ability, which is credentials, I think that Nicki Minaj is the best female rapper ever. Period. Bar none. That's it. Don't have a conversation. Don't fight with me, fight with your mama. Okay? Am I saying that she's the best female lyricist ever? No, we still got Rhapsody and everybody, but as far as catalog of music, as far as the credentials, as far as the longevity, Nicki Minaj is the best female rap artist of all time. That just is what it is. But we have to dig into the fact of, should Nicki Minaj have been blackballed, and is she blackballed? Because it's clear and evident that the energy for Nicki and her music and everything else hasn't been what it was a long time ago. And I'll spend time on a further episode really digging into this a little more. But just off the top of my head, when she got into the relationship with Meek, it felt like that's where we saw things kind of peak. I feel like even Anaconda was kind of the peak for Nicki. You know, and I said I don't want to mention this too much, but then when Cardi came in and there was a beef in the beginning, but then it got squashed, and then we got Motorsport. I think that's where things kind of got funny. Or even if you listen to the record now, or the version that was supposed to come out, where she was kind of shooting at Cardi, and then Cardi and them wanted her to change the verse, and she was like, "Nah, I'm being playful, or whatever." And ever, I think from there we haven't gotten at least the superstar presentation of Nicki like we were used to for God damn, that was almost 9 years ago. That was 7 years ago. So the presentation of Nicki that we were used to for the past 5 years before that. And I do think a little bit of that has to do with the lack of it's amazing that when they both came at once. The lack of the kind of Drake support, the Young Money look, the up and down funny relationship that she's clearly had and they've spoken about having with Drake. I think that Young Money not being what it was, I think Nicki was one of the people affected by it the most. Like, if you was there, you remember Roger That coming out and Nicki just straight flying on that. Or when Bedrock came out and just the sheer presentation on the song with the lyrics and the bars. It was just that wow factor. I feel like at some point she lost that wow factor. And I know she wasn't maybe going for it as much anymore when she was able to, start wearing her, her hair a little bit more, not having to do the colorful hair and the shock things and the voices as much. And yeah, I think a lot of those things were things that people fell in love with Nicki for. And she was always spitting. Maybe she started spitting even a little bit more after that. But it just wasn't connecting with the fans. And we know the kind of other blackballedest things of where, she be bugging out, going off. So, the contention and the beef with Jay-Z and Rock Nation and Beyonce and the radio DJs, Nicki done pissed a lot of people off. And that may have something to do with it. Before the best female rapper ever should still always be looked at and treated like the best female rapper ever. So I really want to kind of get back and study where the fall off of Nicki. Did my alert go off? Hold on. We're going to go back to this chart over here real quick. Hold on. I think we got some action. I got a little alert real quick. Nicki, you got to pause for a second. We getting back to our family essence. What alert just went off on these stocks? Right one going? Oh, okay. Is we going? Wrap Nicki up real quick. I'm excited for whatever we get on March 27th, 2026, and we gonna dig in a little bit more of the fall off of Nicki. And you know what? I think this is a great way to end this show, to end where we began, which is with the stocks. Shit came full circle. This came full circle. Now it's for me to decide, am I going to try and go up and ride this joint up? Am I going to completely ignore it? Or am I going to go with the downtrend? The overall trend is down. Now, I got this box here for a reason. Yo, this hit like money. My alert was right here at this 24,585. And you can see that we hit that and it ain't break through it. Started bouncing a little bit. So my levels is still nice. I would rather, what I would hope for or want to see was tomorrow, Friday. Let's go back a little bit more. We didn't completely go back to lower day, but we had a pretty nice return later in the day. And now we starting to break through that box. What I would want to see, if I'm going to go to the downside, I would want to see it get broken a little bit on the 15-minute chart. Maybe come down to 24,571 a little bit. Maybe break even a little bit lower, 24,565. Then I will come to that 15-minute chart. And I'm going to just ride that trend. So wait for us to kind of get a pullback back into 24,595, where I might catch a little entry to build on. Look for it to go and maybe touch this trend line and really reject that 24,608. Then just kind of ride it out. I'm going to be up for a little bit, so that might be something I'm going to take. But I think that's a great way to end this live, end this stream. Like I said, once again, everything else that I said in between, that was about the Young Miami or even the Celtics, the AI stuff was really important. But this is what's really important, because this is your future. This could be your family's future. The difference in your family's legacy and everything. And you can't let that go by the wayside. So we're going to be doing a lot more stock talks, a lot more of this. I'm going to bring some people on to talk some things. I still got some other big things planned where we could really kind of get to it and really break some generational curses. But until then, I would love y'all to just begin doing your research yourself, man. Your 15, 20 minutes a day, man. Y'all spend it on Instagram. Spend it on one of those Instagram pages where you can learn about stocks and just better yourself and your family. All right, like I said in the beginning, you want to support this show, want to support this channel. Best way to do it is buying some merch. Go to NoBackupPlan.Shop. Make sure that you like, comment, subscribe. Mostly leave a comment and share this video or these clips with somebody, for someone to see. Maybe it's something important for them. And if you don't want to do none of that, drop your boy a donation. Drop your boy a donation right over there. And we out, man. I'm going to see y'all on Sunday, 10 p.m. I'm going to try and go for 9:30, be a little bit earlier. But nonetheless, 10 p.m., the Stro Show Live. Wednesdays, 10 p.m., the Stro Show Live. A lot more content coming for your head tops. And we out. Thank y'all for watching.